Good afternoon, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you again for coming back and spending a little bit time with me. Uh, uh, so I have some news to share with you and one video at the end of the reading material. Here are the news and Concerned Citizens Media comment for June 12, 2021. The first one is Concerned Citizens Media comment on the Grand Rallies. Oromo Grand Rallies happen UK, Netherlands, and the United States. So this is a comment. Oromo's Grand Rallies in Washington, D.C., UK, and the Netherlands. These Oromo protesters and their organizers clearly expressed what Oromos are facing under Abiy Ahmed's brutal rule. Ethiopia now and the Ethiopia Abiy Ahmed and his supporters are planning to create in the future will be anti-Oromo, and it will be a hell for them. Harassment, intimidation, mass arrest, torture, killings, disrespects, and demonization will be worst for Oromos in the new Ethiopia. Oromos will not have the true representation in the upcoming sham Ethiopian election, and the basic needs of this largest ethnic group in Ethiopia is sidelined, and even their existence is threatened by Abiy Ahmed's security apparatus. Protesters spoke clearly about all Oromos' challenges and what must be done to alter them. They exposed the Voice of America base covering about Oromos cases and shared their concerns with the United States and other global nations. Concerned Citizens Media expresses its appreciation for organizers such as Sena Jimjimo, Yeron Gese, Dr. Henok Gabisa, Kadir Elemo, and others, and all Oromos who took part in these grand rallies and who spoke on behalf of voiceless Oromos. We stand with you and we support you with everything we can until freedom is achieved in Oromia for all Oromos. Thank you, and you did excellent job. So that is the comment on ongoing or the grand rallies, the Oromo Grand Rallies organized by Sena Jinjimo, Kadir Elemo, Henok Gabisa, and other activists, plus the Oromos who spend their money and time, their energy to go there and to speak on behalf of Oromos, to expose Abiy Ahmed administration, to expose his crimes, what he's doing against Oromos. So Concerned Citizens Media appreciate them and encourage them to do more until freedom is achieved. I know some Oromos, some, very few, they like to criticize these people just by sitting idle. You know, they didn't do nothing. What they doing is it doesn't bring freedom or justice in Ethiopia. Some people, they criticize in that way. It's easy to say than to do. So please stop criticizing the activists, the one doing the job, the Oromos who are participating day and night, who are spending their money, who are spending their time, who are spending their energy to speak on behalf of Oromos. Okay, criticizing each other, belittling each other will not take us anywhere. So some Oromos are criticizing and just saying this is nothing. These people are they just spending the Oromos money, blah blah. That's not the way for freedom. We have to be united. We have to speak with one voice. And instead of criticizing these people, take part in it. If there is a mistake, try to correct them. Try to do something better. Show them. So that's where we can get to the objectives, which is to ease the problem, the problem from the Oromos, to stop the killing, to stop the torture, to free our political leaders. So don't criticize each other. Stop criticizing. Be part of it. Fix it. Show them where is the problem, and correct them in your showing them through action. Okay, so I appreciate them for doing that. They did great job. They did excellent job. It's not easy to come over there and speak on behalf of your people, so keep it up. We are with you. We'll support you, and keep going. Keep the resistance movement. As I said, the resistance movement is multi-phase. It's not only through demonstration. It's through fundraising, through demonstration, through armed struggle, through political campaigns. So it's a multi-phase. So Oromos, those Oromos criticizing, please stop. Please stop criticizing Sena Jinjimo or others for doing great job. Election in Ethiopia is failed by all standards. The majority areas in the country are not taking part in this election. No election in the Tigray region, Somalia region, Benishangul-Gumuz region, and several areas in the Oromia region, and in Burra in Woleta zone, and many other parts of the country. No election. So it's a failure. It's failed. But Abiy Ahmed ignored all the internal and global calls for dialogues and reconciliation instead of holding this sham election. He determined to declare himself as the winner of this election, bless himself with recognition. But Ethiopians must reject the outcome of this sham and failed election, and must continue their resistance until free and fair election and until fair representation of all Ethiopians happen in the future. We should reject it. It's already rejected globally, and almost more than half of Ethiopians are not taking part in this election. The Somalia region, the Oromia region, the Benishangul-Gumuz region, the Tigray region. So I don't know what kind of election without all these Ethiopians taking part in it. So Abiy is determined to say I am elected by the people, which is not. He's ready to declare this fake election, and instead of calling for dialogue, calling for reconciliation with all stakeholders, but he is insisting, despite the international call for all this discussion and dialogue, he determined. So we will see, but it's a failed election anyway. Calls for immediate withdrawal of Eritrean criminal forces continue. The Oromo Liberation Front, OLF, yesterday released another statement reiterating calls on the international community to press for immediate withdrawal of Eritrean troops from Oromia and the Benishangul-Gumuz regions. The party spoke of a new large-scale deployment of Eritrean soldiers in Oromia and the Benishangul-Gumuz regions. In the statement, the OLF said, "Our information from tangible sources show that more than 2 divisions of Eritrean armies, estimated to 30,000 soldiers, had been recently deployed to the Oromia and Benishangul-Gumuz region via different directions. In its previous statement, the Oromo Liberation Front detailed the brutalizing of civilians in Horro Guduru, Kellam Wallagga, West Wallagga, Guji, and Borana zones of Oromia and Metakel zones in Benishangul-Gumuz regions. So more than 30,000 Eritreans sent to Oromia and Benishangul-Gumuz region. The Ethiopian government denied, and the Eritrean government also denied, but through credible resources, this is confirmed. So the international community, they should keep pressuring Eritreans to get out of Oromia and to get out of Tigray. I know they are playing game with you, but you have to continue insisting that their withdrawal and come up with additional sanctions in the future. Probably talk of military action, through NATO or through other means, still in the discussion. No final decision, but these leaders, these dictators, they don't listen to simple sanctions, simple visa or economic restriction. They need tough action. Then they will stop playing with you like hide and seek. So, United States statement on Ethiopia's upcoming election. This is from State Department on upcoming election. The United States is gravely concerned about the environment in which the June 21 election in Ethiopia will be held, and urged politicians and other community leaders there to denounce violence, the hardening of regional and ethnic divisions in multiple parts of Ethiopia threaten the country's unity and territorial integrity. The period following these elections will be a critical moment for Ethiopians to come together to confront these divisions. This is a statement from State Department spokesperson Ned Price. The exclusion of large segment of the electorate from this contest due to security issues and internal displacement is particularly troubling. Exclusion and internal displacement is particularly troubling, Price said. In his statement, Price also cited obstacles to a free and fair electoral process and whether Ethiopians would perceive them as credible, including the detention of opposition politicians, media harassment, and inter-ethnic conflict, among other issues. So, detention of politicians, media harassment, inter-ethnic conflict, and many others. Due to this, the State Department is expressing grave concern about the election. Day 2 of the 2021 47th G7 summit continues. Leaders from some world's biggest economic countries such as USA, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Canada, Italy, Japan, and some countries are, these are the G7 countries: Germany, France, Canada, USA, Kingdom, Italy, and Japan. These are the G7 countries, 7 most advanced, economically advanced countries. And these are the invited guests, leaders from Australia, India, South Korea, and representative from South Africa, European Union, and United Nations also invited as a guest to attend this high-level meeting. Ethiopia hasn't been invited into this prestigious and exclusive membership club's meeting this time due to Abiy Ahmed's criminal conduct he is carrying out against his own people in the Tigray region and other parts of Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is not invited at this time. Remember, maybe when Meles Zenawi time, he was one of the guests invited in a G7 meeting. So Ethiopia, no, this time, because too much crime is happening in Ethiopia by their own leader, by inviting a foreign country, causing all these crises in Tigray, in Oromia, Benishangul, everywhere. So Ethiopia lost its standard by not joining this high-level, prestigious, developed countries meeting. It's a shame. This is one of the signs of isolation from the global stage. That's why we say we need to demand the removal of this current leadership in Ethiopia. You know, we are losing the such high-level meeting with developed nations. So Ethiopians' concern, Ethiopia's leadership in the East Africa and beyond is not represented at this time. As a failure as a country, and is a failure as a leader of that country. So that's why we say we demand the removal, the resignation of Abiy Ahmed and his party in general. So this global summit is hosted by United Kingdom in Kirby's Bay, Cornwall, UK, and various global challenging agendas such as global warming, recovery from COVID-19, strategic competition with Chinese, fear of famine, and other humanitarian crises in Tigray region, and other challenges in Ethiopia and other countries are being considered and discussed. So the situation in the Tigray region may be one of the topics highlighted in this meeting. One of the serious concerns these global leaders are addressing, plus other challenges, environment and other Chinese issue. This is one of the tweets raised to the media. It's read like this: G7 meeting at G7 hashtag G7 summit on hashtag Ethiopia hashtag Tigray. We are horrified by the tragic humanitarian crisis unfolding in the Tigray and call for an immediate ceasefire. The hashtag European Union stands in solidarity with those affected by the conflict and will continue providing humanitarian aid to the region. So through European Union, it is raised on this G7 meeting the horrible situation in the Tigray region, and they call for ceasefire, and they also agree to provide humanitarian aid to the region. So I don't know Abiy Ahmed if he's going to listen to this, because in the previous calls he ignored the United States, the European Union, all of them he ignored. He don't want to stop the war. He want to show that he is, he's a winner. He is not ready to negotiate with TPLF, call them terrorist organization, and he feel ashamed to sit down with them, even though they are the one created him. So that's his argument. That's why he rushed that thing through the parliament. Label them TPLF and OLF as a terrorist organization, so he can do whatever he want to do, kill anybody, blame them under that name, take the property of these ethnic groups in Tigray, in Oromia, and tell, hey, because these are terrorist organizations. So he think for now it's easy to do all this, but the global community is watching him and told him to stop the war and make everything easy for aid deliveries, but still they are not doing it. They are denying there is famine or hunger in Tigray. They are telling us, everything is fine, the war is over, schools are open, health cares are open, people are moving around. That's what they say to make it, but nothing is normal. Yes, schools are open, but no student at all. Probably students are fighting. Nothing is normal. The region is unstable. Conflict is still happening. War is still happening. Even Mekelle is not peace. So that's why the global community call for ceasefire. Stop the war. You cannot win. You cannot win. You can win through dialogue, discussion with these people and with the larger stakeholders in that country. But he is not listening, and not NATO is talking about it. G7 is talking about it. US and EU talking about it, and really expressing these concerns. We don't know what is coming in the future, but plus the visa and the economic restriction. So I don't know Abiy Ahmed and the Eritrean government what they are waiting for. They're waiting for military conflict with EU, USA, or NATO. We don't know. They believe in guns. That's why they don't listen when they are advised to end the war and stop the war and deal with the people, with the stakeholders. Okay, that's the reading part. Thank you again. Let's share this one short video about the family killed in Canada. I think like mother, father, grandfather, grandmother just walking by, and one Canadian ran over and killed him. So I'm gonna show you, which is good news, in support of this family and denouncing the terrorist attack. Thousands and thousands of people came out in Canada to show that support and respect for this family. So I will conclude with this one.
Thousands took to the streets on Friday in support of a Canadian Muslim family who were run over and killed last Sunday. The police have described the attack as a hate crime. The 4 victims, who spanned 3 generations, were killed while out for an evening walk near
These
their
are the
home.
family you see on the photo, killed.
A 9-year-old boy survived. People in London, Ontario marched around 5 miles from the spot where the family was struck down to a nearby mosque, a site close to where suspect Nathaniel Veltman was arrested by police. Some carried placards that read "Hate has no home here" and "Love over hate." Similar events were also held in other Ontario cities. The attack has sparked outrage across Canada. Politicians from all sides have condemned the crime, spurring growing calls to take action on hate crimes and Islamophobia. The alleged driver of the truck, 20-year-old Nathaniel Veltman, made a brief court appearance on Thursday and will be back in court on Monday. He faces 4 charges of first-degree murder and 1 of attempted murder. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has called the killings a terrorist attack and has vowed to clamp down on far-right groups and online hate.
Okay. So we appreciate who organized this protest against the haters, the terrorists who killed this family. Hate crime should be condemned wherever it exists, through right wing or whatever it is. We should condemn it. It happened. It happens everywhere, including the United States. Like people just attacked just because of their Muslims, or just because of they're from China. So we should condemn it, and we appreciate Concerned Citizens Media appreciate these people for organizing this protest against this killer, and their support for the families. So that's all I have for today. Thank you again, and for taking your time to listen to Concerned Citizens Media. Please share, comment on my videos, like my videos, so we can grow together, so we can be the voice for the voiceless people. And we should, again, I'm gonna close by saying, please appreciate those activists, Sena Jimjimo, Dr. Henok Gabisa, all these doctors who formed JIRA, Oromo Relief Organization. Last time I talked about this, and who are organizing these protesters, and speaking on behalf of the Oromos who are dying, who are facing brutalities under Abiy Ahmed in Ethiopia. So we need to appreciate that. We need to appreciate these people instead of sitting idle and criticizing them and insulting them. So that's a divisive act, and we should condemn that. Please take part. If they make mistake, express your concern, tell them face to face, and take part in it, guide them, so we can reach the objective, which is easing all these challenges from Oromos, and getting freedom, free Oromia. If it's not possible to live with Ethiopia, if it's not possible to live with Ethiopia with respect and dignity, just let it be free. Have your own country. So two choice: live with respect, with dignity, without dying, without torture, without your people being arrested, mass arrested. That's another way. If that doesn't work, you must call for freedom, secession, be your own country. We are more than Djibouti, man. Oromia is more than Djibouti, maybe twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times. So nothing to scare off. So as alternatives, you work for respect, dignity in that country, to have your voice heard, true representation in Ethiopia. If that doesn't work, call for secession or independence in that country. So these are the two objectives these people are, these organizers, protesters are calling for, and we should support them. We should stand with them and work against this brutal government in Ethiopia. Abiy Ahmed is a failure. I said many times, his leadership is a failure. His advisors failed him. He himself failed. All he believes is in shoot to kill policy, and convince or threaten all these security forces, federal police, the military, the court. Everyone is scared of him. That's why we have a failed government, isolated government in Ethiopia. That's all I can say for today. Thank you. I will be back with other news and comment. So long, everyone.